My dad has been a very adventurous person, and he's kind of trained us in a way to be adventurous, where everything's a new challenge. Life is a challenge, not a choice. So if life is a challenge, not a choice, everything's a new adventure. Everything is something you can learn from. And every experience, every exposure, every new situation, every new country, every new environment. And what really drove me to everything was maybe the fact that when you're doing what you're doing, you enjoy doing what you're doing, you just fall in love with your work, and as you fall in love, you want to do it more and more. And maybe the part where seeing people happy and grateful for the service that you have provided to them, that gives you a kind of a ticklish feeling inside where you feel so happy you've made a difference in someone's life. Maybe that was what inspired me to carry on.
He's not as outspoken or as loud, or as academically high achieving, but he's solid. He's rock solid. He's actually, in a way, a lot of ways, the backbone of this organization, the operations man, the man who actually gets the things done. We started in 2003. We came back to Malaysia because my dad wanted to finish his book. I wanted to get into businesses and run and then expand to East Timor and other countries. And he went back, and obviously when the director or the main person leaves, things are going to be jammed. And at that time we had about 26 centers, and my brother was 19. And then so he was in charge of everything. He decided to go back, and he said that, okay, fine, I'll go to Cambodia, I'll remain, and I will run the show. Yeah, and so this 19-year-old boy with something like we had almost 2,000 boarding students, 3,000-4,000 all over the country. We were the largest non-formal educators in the country, and he's at the center of it all. He runs the show, trains. We had about 200 over volunteers, and he just coordinates everything. And he did fantastic, And then one of the Agong's physician visited us, and she was just taken aback. She's this 60-year-old physician who has met amazing people throughout her whole life, and she was just shocked. How the hell did this 19-year-old from Malaysia, running the whole show and is totally and truly loved by the people, and he's just he's a Malaysian, a young boy who's supposed to be either chasing girls or clubbing or doing all sorts of crap, but he's actually dedicating his whole life, and he loves it, and it's not like you're forced to do it. He's very passionate about what he does. I think one of his biggest assets is the fact that he's really one-to-one with everybody. He's really down to earth. He mixes with the people. I think a lot of outstanding individuals forget the connection to the grassroots, and that has always been his strongest point. We've always looked to him as a role model of how do you actually connect with the grassroots. Even I look up to him.
It hasn't been a bed of roses, that much I can guarantee you about. There's been a lot of ups and downs. There have been times where the very people that you try to help are the very people who all of a sudden do not want your help anymore, and the very people that you help suddenly go against you and all. There have been a lot of different issues and all that where it has been at times discouraging, and there are times when you feel, why am I doing what I'm doing and all that. But the reason why I continue doing what I'm doing is maybe because of the inner happiness that you get of doing what you're doing.
It was a very big challenge for him, just because a lot of so-called educated people intimidate him with their degrees and their certificates, and it was very hard for this school dropout. In Cambodia it's okay, but when you actually come out into the Malaysian market, and the whole environment here is like everybody's just talking about academic qualifications. Nobody really cares about the skills or character you have to a certain extent. So he found it very hard breaking through. It's always that first impression. And the first impression when you see him is a young kid. So automatically anyone would have that impression that, oh, he's young, he doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't know what he's saying. And that further intimidated him. So yeah, he did, I wouldn't say give up, because I think giving up never existed in our family. There's no such thing as there's a time where you take it slowly, then there's a time where you get back on track. But it was very hard. And I know there were times where he just wanted to just do his thing and not work on this side. But he pushed through, and slowly, and people were amazed, and then he started building confidence from that. You know, that more and more people, more and more very educated people started appreciating what he was doing, respected him, and you slowly gain confidence.
Basically, perspective to life. How do you look at things? Do you look at it half full or half empty? Do you look at life as a challenge? Do you look at life as a problem? Everything can be viewed in two different ways. So,
like I said, he's always been, like I said, a very generous person and a very helpful person. Anyone can go up to him. You know, a lot of his students take advantage of him because he's just like that. He's just so chilled out, so relaxed, but yet he has a firm grip on all the affairs. He's very meticulous.
maybe helping others achieve their dreams was very fulfilling, and maybe that was a dream which I always had from childhood. Because of my parents or because of my dad, we used to go out to the kampungs every weekend, and we had a very nice life in the city, while at the same time we had a fair balance, not only how to be successful, but also how to have a very good character. Is something where I think youth can show Malaysia and every other country in the world that youth can actually change the world with the guidance and with the support of adults. But I believe that if all the youth in Malaysia or in any part of the world for that matter were able to focus a lot on character and morals, maybe we as youth will be able to provide a better future for the kids. Try to make a difference in the lives of others.